Is he this gangster that behind the scenes is that him? Or is that...
Shout out to Wendy Williams.
How many people came through his orbit? How many people could this have happened to? And how did he get away with it for so long?
It started as a quiet rumor slipping through the velvet ropes of La's elite circles, a whisper behind champagne glasses and dimly lit booths. But when that list leaked, it was like someone lit a match in a gas-filled room. A private document, allegedly written by one of Diddy's former lovers, dropped like a Molotov cocktail in the heart of Hollywood's high society. This wasn't gossip. This was a full-blown bombshell. We're talking about a spreadsheet of destruction, an alleged collection of names so explosive that if even half of it is true, it could tear through every red carpet, every award stage, and every streaming deal like wildfire. The claim? Diddy didn't just leave a trail of broken hearts. He allegedly left infections.
And I don't know if we're on the same algorithm, but I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that happened. Someone did that, yeah. And maybe not in season 1 because you're just getting...
Payouts to keep the disease out of the press. Panic exploded behind the scenes like a silent alarm only insiders could hear. Agents were in meltdown mode, scrambling to draft crisis control statements. PR teams started whispering in lawyers' ears. Stylists suddenly turned into handlers, shielding their clients from the fallout. Because the real danger wasn't just the details of the list. It was the fact that the list even existed. A former flame going rogue, lobbying names like grenades, accusing the bad boy mogul of spreading more than just music and cologne across cities and hotel sheets. This isn't just about reputations. It's about legal contracts, million-dollar brand partnerships, and literal health. One publicist allegedly fainted mid-brunch in West Hollywood after realizing 2 of her clients had met with Combs during the exact windows listed. Another insider claims a top music executive quietly fled to Arizona for a so-called wellness retreat, industry code for medical checkups under the radar. And the betrayal? It cuts way deeper than gossip blogs. What Eli Q exposed wasn't just scandal, it was strategy. This feels less like a bitter ex's rant and more like a weaponized dossier. Dates, names, alleged symptoms, payments. It's so calculated. People are asking, did this person even act alone? Or is there a larger hand behind the curtain pulling...
Is he this gangster that behind the scenes is that him? Or is that...
Shout out to Wendy Williams.
Strings, planning something far bigger. Insiders are already whispering about a second wave of leaks. And if the rumors are true, video evidence could be next. If what we've seen so far was just a teaser, then the next drop could level entire careers in one night. The public's hungry for names. The names are begging for silence. And everyone else? They're just trying to figure out who's safe, who's exposed, and who's about to be sacrificed in Hollywood's next great unraveling. Let's be honest, this isn't just about a rogue spreadsheet. Behind the chaos is a shadow truth that's haunted Hollywood for years. Whispers in DMs, murmurs in private lounges. Diddy didn't just run a circle of influence. He allegedly operated a fortress of fear. The list may have lit the match, but what it's burning down is a long-rumored blacklist, an alleged vault of silenced victims locked behind NDAs, sudden payouts, and, in some cases, encrypted threats that never made headlines. Former assistants, casual hookups, background dancers, names supposedly scrubbed clean with hush money or threatened into oblivion. Some close to the matter claim that not everyone on the list is a victim of exposure, but a victim of suppression. One entertainment lawyer who says they refused Diddy's NDA in 2017 put it bluntly, "You can't blackmail people with silence forever. They crack." And now, as the dust begins to rise, more alleged victims are reaching out. Some are speaking through proxies, others contacting legal teams. The cracks are widening. Insiders suspect the leaked list overlaps with multiple sealed agreements, some expired, others still legally binding. If even a fraction of it checks out, this isn't just tabloid fuel, it's a legal minefield. The suggestion? Diddy's empire was never just built on beats and branding. It ran on fear, threats, checks, and what some describe as a revolving door of paid-off handlers. And just as the early stages of his trial begin, the slime is already bubbling to the surface, and it's darker than expected, because no Diddy expose is complete without the tunnels. That's right. The infamous underground tunnel theory is back. But this time, it's not late-night Reddit chatter. Multiple insiders are claiming there were secret sub-level routes connecting LA mansions, clubs, and hotels. Diddy's team always spun it as a safety measure, a way to dodge paparazzi. But others allege these tunnels led to what he called frefs, private gatherings that pushed far past the boundaries of normal. A former tour manager, using a fake name, described one location as Eyes Wide Shut meets the Shade Room. Dim lighting, biometric locks, soundproof walls. It all sounds absurd until you remember who we're talking about. This is a man who built a private ice rink in Miami during a heat wave. Extravagance wasn't a flex. It was standard protocol. And if those tunnels were real, and if the leaked list includes names from those underground parties, we might not just be witnessing a scandal. We might be staring into a hidden ecosystem of influence, exploitation, and silent complicity. And now the conversation shifts. Because the real question people are asking is, why now? The list came from a former partner, sure. But why drop it right as Diddy sits in federal custody with sentencing looming? Is this revenge, a guilty conscience, or something far more calculated? Industry insiders suspect this may be the first strike in a much bigger takedown, a coordinated effort to destroy what's left of the Combs empire piece by piece. Some believe someone, or several someones, are feeding this X from behind the scenes. That the leak we saw was just a test drop, a reaction check before the real damage begins. The mood in Hollywood is tense. One former associate posted a cryptic message online, then deleted it an hour later. It simply read, "What's public is nothing compared to what's encrypted." And then there's her, the model-turned-influencer, who says she used to frequent what she now chillingly calls Diddy's Velvet Dungeons. She claims 2 different attorneys have already reached out offering pro bono representation, no strings attached, full immunity support. That's the kind of fear lawyers can't bury and no amount of money can wipe away. Which leaves us with one chilling question. If that list was just a surface, then what kind of monster is hiding beneath the ice? She called them Wild King Nights. And what they allegedly involved wasn't just intimacy, it was orchestration. According to her, these nights took place in Diddy's bedroom or a prepped hotel suite. And prepping meant baby oil, Astroglide, silence. She says she was in charge of arranging it all. But just when it seemed the chaos had peaked, came the whispers of the vault. Not just rumors anymore. Alleged physical evidence hidden in plain sight, now said to be in federal hands. During those high-profile raids on Diddy's LA and Miami properties, insiders say agents didn't just seize hard drives and luxury trinkets. No, what they uncovered is being compared to Pandora's box. An alleged stash of tapes, photos, financial ledgers, meticulously documented. And not just wild footage. We're talking boardroom-quality angles, dates, faces, possibly names. A curated library, not a random pile. Designed, many believe, for control, or worse, for leverage. Some claim these files weren't just kept. They were labeled, coded, and secured like a private intelligence operation. One insider even said federal agents were stunned by the sheer depth of the documentation. This wasn't grainy party footage. This was evidence shot with purpose. And now the fear isn't just about what's been found. It's about how many people are on those drives. If even one tape includes both a freak-off session and a payment log, Hollywood could implode overnight. Allegedly, the vault even contained financial spreadsheets showing hush payments, possibly to celebrities, label heads, managers, and media insiders. One former associate didn't hold back. If that vault goes public, half the room at last year's Grammys is going to be lawyering up by breakfast. That might sound extreme, but the silence from industry veterans right now? Deafening. Even Diddy's closest allies have gone ghost, while his lawyers allegedly fight behind the scenes to keep key evidence inadmissible before sentencing in October. And then there's that ritual, the one everyone thought was just a weird flex. The baby oil. Once dismissed as harmless kink, it's now morphing into a full-blown cultural warning sign. Diddy's team insists everything was consensual, but former attendees say otherwise. They describe seeing soaked not just in oil, but in performance, in power, in humiliation, all under lights, and allegedly under cameras. The freak-offs, it seems, weren't just wild nights. They were something far more calculated. According to a source close to the lawsuit, the baby oil wasn't just about seduction. It was psychological warfare, a tactic used to make participants feel exposed, slippery, and stripped of control. Once the oil came out, you knew the games were about to begin, said one insider who claims to have attended multiple freak-offs. The implication? These weren't just wild parties. They were performances of dominance, rituals cloaked in glamour, but built on coercion. One survivor testified that Diddy once showed her a video of a freak-off she was in, then threatened to send it to her mother unless she agreed to participate again in New York. That's not fantasy. That's coercion, and a jury believed her. The Vault rumors make it even darker. Allegedly, some of the seized tapes show these rituals in a way the public will never be able to unsee. Grainy footage of major celebrities, glistening and vulnerable in scenes they can't publicly deny. Analysts are calling the potentially the most damaging cultural unmasking since the early Hash Me Too tapes. But this time, the stories don't just reveal power abuse. They show what looks like a system built to psychologically break people, then lock them in place. Some tapes are rumored to be matched with financial ledgers, payoffs disguised as retreat packages following particularly disturbing nights. If that's true, the baby oil isn't just a fetish item. It's evidence. Sticky, shimmering, time-stamped, and it could trace who was there, what was done, and what it cost to make them vanish. One journalist said it best. This isn't just testimony. It's receipts, video, and numbers that don't lie. And now, the emotional wreckage is surfacing. One woman broke down, saying, "You don't know what it does to you when something you loved is taken, thrown away like it meant nothing, and they move on while you stay stuck. I'm still stuck, 21 years later." It's no longer just about sentencing, it's about survival. Civil attorneys are circling, filing motions to gain access to whatever the feds pulled from the vault. If they succeed, we won't just see a criminal trial. We'll witness a series of civil bombshells dragging names far beyond Diddy into the light. And the silence? It's deafening. Former friends, collaborators, A-listers who once called him brother. They're quiet now, for a reason. Some might be terrified their names are sitting in one of those encrypted folders. There's panic inside Diddy's camp. Those close to him say he's pacing like a man watching his empire turn to ash. That empire, once a symbol of opulence and power, now looks like a crumbling house of cards. With a criminal case, the lawsuits, and the vault allegedly stacked with evidence, it's hard to imagine a comeback. Some insiders claim he's trying to negotiate, offering names for leniency, trading secrets. If that's true, this isn't just scandal. It's a power shift. Because once those names start getting traded, no one is safe. One woman said it plainly. The things I experienced with him, they were monstrous. That almost destroyed my life. And behind the velvet curtain of Diddy's empire were those who didn't cheer, who didn't stay silent. Quiet rebels. Rumors say that during Cass's final, turbulent years, certain assistants, drivers, and bodyguards risked everything to help her escape. These weren't dramatic rescues, but small, deliberate acts. A delayed call, a subtle distraction, a whispered warning. One longtime stylist, now vanished from social media, is believed to have passed along key information that helped Cassie disappear from his orbit in 2018. And the risk? It wasn't just losing a job. It was defying a man known for reach, power, and ruthless revenge. Now, whispers claim at least 2 of those former employees have spoken to federal investigators, not as co-conspirators, but as quiet witnesses to machinery of manipulation and control. Not celebrities, not moguls, just people who saw too much, and finally couldn't stay silent anymore. They weren't just staff. They were the gears of the machine, fetching schedules, guarding doors, managing chaos. But the most chilling detail is the suggestion that some of them knew exactly what Cassie and others were enduring behind closed doors. And in a world ruled by fear, the line between complicity and survival was razor thin. Sources close to the investigation say one former bodyguard secretly slipped Cassie a burner phone, while a driver delayed a planned route just long enough for her to flee to a hotel under an alias. These small, calculated acts may never make headlines, but they made escape possible. Asked if the evidence in the criminal trial is surprising, one woman said plainly, "No, I saw it with my own eyes." Now, This alleged inner circle of quiet dissenters, people who once worked inside Diddy's empire, is under scrutiny from both investigators and the media. If even a portion of these claims prove true, they could mark a turning point in how abuse is exposed in entertainment, not through loud confessions, but through whispers of resistance from within. Many of these insiders have vanished. Scrub buyers, deactivated accounts. Others, still bound by NDAs, are reportedly wrestling with whether to speak out now that Diddy's supposed vault has cracked open the myth of his invincibility. The emerging narrative suggests Cassie didn't just escape. She was helped. Intentionally, quietly, and that changes everything. It raises a darker question. How many others tried to help but were silenced before they could? There are reports that a staff member was abruptly fired in 2017 after being caught trying to deliver a letter to Cassie from her mother. Another was demoted and transferred after raising concerns about the true nature of Diddy's wellness retreats. These acts, once dismissed as minor infractions, now form a constellation of red flags under federal inquiry, evidence that cracks were forming in the empire long before it fell. These quiet resistors may not be heroes in the cinematic sense, but their small, defiant moves reveal something powerful. That no matter how consolidated the control, power is never completely unchallenged. And now the legal world is asking, was Diddy just a corrupt celebrity? Or was he a mob boss in designer clothes, running a network of fear, coercion, and silence? One legal analyst put it bluntly, he's depraved, no doubt, but we still need to prove he broke the law. And with civil lawsuits piling up and sentencing approaching fast, the silence of Diddy's former staffers is being reinterpreted, not as loyalty, but as pressure, fear, or maybe guilt. The most haunting twist? In Cass's story, she wasn't alone. And that realization could be more dangerous to Diddy than any court document or leaked video. Because if she had help, others might have too. And the more people come forward, the more fragile his entire defense becomes. Which brings us to the bigger question. What does all this mean for the entire industry? If these tapes from the vault are real, if the whispers are true, this isn't just one man's downfall. It's a cultural collapse decades in the making. A reckoning Hollywood hasn't seen since Weinstein. Who else gets dragged into the fire? Whose career vanishes next? And let's not forget, 50 Cent is circling. And as people online love to say, Fifth is different. He doesn't throw shade. He throws matches. If Diddy's empire burns, Fifth might be the one holding the gasoline can. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Is this truly the end for Diddy? Or is another twist hiding in the shadows, ready to blow the lid off this entire story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this saga is far from over. And the next headline? It might just bring the whole industry crashing down.